Kevin Durant let Giannis bury his shoulder into his chest. You see what Giannis looked like? That can't be the thing, Sam. Tell me, why is that the thing? Why is that a good idea?
I mean, so I think so. All right, so I understand the body element of having someone like Harrell. I mean, I think you're talking up his defense a little bit too much, but I do understand wanting like a guy who's a grinder like that because I think the team definitely could use someone of his ilk, which is I think why we talked about like the Wendell Carters of the world and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess look, I'm at the point where I think they clearly still have a move to make. I know Woj said this morning on one of the shows that Brooklyn has a lot of moves left. I'm hoping that doesn't involve Harden, but who knows? If it's plural, it makes me feel like it's not Harden, it's other pieces.
Could you imagine it's Harden? If it's
I really don't think it is. I feel pretty. I've never really thought he was coming here, and I really don't even. I don't see it. But but look, I think we're waiting on a couple of things. One, we're obviously waiting on this Ibaka thing, which all the Nets fans really care a lot about. Who I think is someone that could help, even though I think he's kind of what they need from an offensive perspective. Defensively, I think he kind of goes in and out a little bit, and he's also older, so he obviously doesn't have like the tenacity that like a younger guy would have had, like let's say like a Christian Wood, who obviously the Rockets guy yesterday. But I mean, I just think the jury's still out. We're less than 24 hours into free agency. I think I mean, we haven't talked about it. I mean, I don't know exactly what your take is on the Shamet deal. I think it was. I mean, I love the draft, so I'm always excited to see who Marks is going to draft, and he has such a good draft history that it would have been exciting for them to draft.
Let's talk about the Sham deal.
Yeah, because I think that plays a little bit into the analysis generally anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I think about the Sham deal. You tell me why I'm wrong. Right?
Yep.
If you add Landry Shaman to the Nets, you're replacing Garrett Temple with Landry Shaman. I'll take that.
Yep.
You're replacing 27% from 3 to 30 for 39%, and potentially a guy who's already in his rookie year, he shot 40% from 3.
Yeah, and he had a quick interjection. He had a down year last year and shot 38% from 3. So he's like, right. And last year he views as like a disaster.
Right. Now he's basically, that was playing with guys who couldn't shoot. Now with defenses focused on Kyrie, figuring out a way to stop Kyrie and KD, he's just going to be shooting wide open. Joe Harris is going to be on the other side of the floor sometimes when he's on the floor, and they're just going to be shooting wide open. I adding that guy, I think was important if it was a possible thing to do. But if there was any way that the only thing that I have a trouble with is because it's taken any way that it's possible that the Nets can trade and get a good 4 without trading, some of these key pieces. I think trading Spencer Dinwiddie is a fool's errand. Right? Even if you replace them with Harden, because if Kyrie
what do you think? What do you think Dinwiddie? I guess the question is, what do you think Dinwiddie adds at this point? Given that, like it seems like LeVert will play more of like maybe not a sixth man-ish role, but like a shooting guard sixth man-ish role, and now they have an extra shooter, which takes away some of like the scoring help. I guess my thing is I don't know how additive Dinwiddie is besides kind of the everyone's out of it. Dinwiddie keeps the motor.
I think they're gonna take the Nets' old starting lineup and make them the backup team. If they're here, I don't think these guys are going to be here.
So so you're saying so in your mind you feel like the bench will basically be Dinwiddie, LeVert, Allen, and then probably I guess Harris gets put into the starting lineup with Prince and Durant and Jordan.
Hmm.
It's basically those old it's basically
No,
the old
I don't
the
think that's.
three Kenny Atkinson guys
I don't.
are put.
You know I've been one to say that KD and Kyrie don't run the Nets, right? But maybe it's true. Maybe KD and Kyrie do run the Nets. Like, is it a coincidence these players are that they're seeing play at the Mamba Academy in LA? Is it
Yeah.
is it coincidence that we're signing guys and trading for guys that's played in that gym?
Yep.
But it could be. It could be. We have no evidence. Either way, it just sucks if it's being run that way. I just don't see how you win. I just don't see it. I don't see how a team wins a championship without physicality and without athleticism.
No,
This
I
team,
agree. I agree with you on that. I think they are too. I mean, look, even the one thing. I don't mean to cut you off. The one thing I think that we even that to bolster your point to bring up about the Shamit thing is like, look, the Nets could have not signed. The Nets could have drafted like a bigger wing and taken a swing on someone,
no,
and instead they got a 6'4" shooting guard who's incredibly light and plays no defense. So they
listen,
they're
listen.
clearly going in a direction.
No, my problem with the draft pick thing is not that they didn't draft someone. I'm just mad that they didn't take that draft pick and turn it into a power forward that could
Yep.
fix that problem.
Yep.
The Nets. I say this so often. The Nets with just Kyrie was the number one defense in the. I mean, the number one offense in the NBA. They were the worst defense at the same time. They were bottom. They were a top 3 offense and a bottom 3 defense when Kyrie's feet were on the floor. And I do not understand that you can have that problem, that you can see that problem, and your answer to it is Landry Shaman. Your answer to converting the assets that you have right now into something and into a new asset that fixes this glaring problem. That is my problem. And it just says to me that they're not looking at the landscape of the league. They're not looking at the league and going, all right, how are we competitive in this league? I think they just said, you know what, this is our philosophy. Damned if it's not working anywhere else. Not only are we gonna be run by Steve Nash, our offense is also gonna be coached by Mike D'Antoni. And Ime Udoka is a championship level defensive coach. He's done it. It's happened. He's been around that. That's his pedigree. But I don't see from their actions, like, and you can't tell me it's Bruce Brown. Like, I tweeted at Bruce Brown, get ready to play power forward. and as much as that's funny, we know that's what's going to happen. Like, he's the new Travion Graham.
No, you're spot on. I think that's a great call. He definitely is. That's a textbook. I mean, look, it can't work out worse than Graham, but like that's a textbook. Marks, like, we're gonna try to, like, that guy will end up getting way more minutes than you think he's gonna get.
Right, like he's the new David Nwaba. He's the new Garrett Temple.
Yep, the new Wilson Chandler. He's pretty good.
Wilson Chandler is a small forward that he's a rangy guy, 6'9", has power forward size. The moment they put him in the starting lineup, and he wasn't good.
No, he was terrible.
That was the whole thing. He wasn't good, but the moment they put him in the starting lineup, they took Taurean Prince out. They took off. They looked like a team that could function, because the Nets would be so much better if they've had a competent power forward. And I hate being the Nets don't have a power forward podcast, but that is the fucking problem. And if we're gonna talk about problems, I do not understand how they cannot see it. And I know I hear all the Nets fans listening to this, but Sean Marks said he's gonna look for depth at the 3 and 4. Are you listening to what he's saying? He's saying I have my starting lineup at the 3 and 4. I'm looking for depth behind the nonsense he's about to start. And I'm terrified. I'm terrified that this is what they're going to do. They're going to really put KD on Giannis. Or if it's not KD on Giannis, who is it? It's Landry Shaman? Is it Taurean Prince? We're going to do that experiment again? Because
I mean,
like,
so no, I mean, I think a lot of what you said is right. I think there is an element, like what do they say? The definition of insanity is doing like the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. And I think your Travion Graham Bruce Brown comparison is like both hilariously and ominously like spot on.
You can look on the Nets team. That's what we like. The Nets are having problems holding bigs in the season last year. They can't hold any bigs. Sean Marks and his team of scouts, of elite scouts, right? Because our program is better than everybody else's program. Finds the answer is Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, another 6'4" combo guard that we want to play wing and power forward minutes. It's correct. It's fucking nuts what we're doing. You can't watch this last finals. You cannot have watched the Miami Heat out physical other teams into the finals, because that's what they did. They didn't outshoot other teams. Jimmy Butler shot horrendously from the perimeter. They just out bully balled everybody. And you can't have watched that and said, you know what we need? To go after, like, the least gritty dude in Miami is who? Hero?
Yeah.
And he's an animal. The point guard's an animal. Goran Dragic is an animal. He's not one of these athletic, flashy point guards. He's a bulldozer. And so and we know Kyrie is not about that life. We know Kevin Durant is a small forward, truthfully. You can't tell me that the answer to that is Bruce Brown? Problem solved?
No, I mean, look, I think you're definitely right. I think that's why I don't think Marks is crazy enough to go into this year with basically the exact same roster plus Dinwiddie and plus KD and Kyrie, which is why Dinwiddie or Allen, one of those guys, I think has to be on their way out one way or another. And like basically, I'm just looking at the NBA teams. I mean, like you got to ship either Allen. You have to ship either Allen to a team that needs a center, which I mean, this is a really saturated center draft as well as center free agency. So obviously, a lot of those spots will end up getting filled out.
I would love to see Jared Allen go to Golden State.
Right? Yeah.
Let me tell you, I don't want Jared Allen here, only because our fan base is shitty. Like, I wanted OG Anunoby so bad.
So did I.
Right? I was just watching the draft, watching him fall, and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get OG. Like, and then when they picked Jared Allen, I had seen him earlier on in the year because my wife is from Round Rock, Texas, same town as Jared. And you know, I haven't gone to UT. We go to the game. We see Jared Allen. We're watching.